Good morning and welcome to Whenever You Are. I am Bandit Haze and today I'm going to be talking about Undertale. So Undertale is an RPG, which stands for role-playing game, or in some cases rockets propelled grenade. I feel like in this case though it should stand for rah, what the blood clot. So anyway, after playing Undertale from beginning to end, here's what I like about it. Now I like that it is a short game, and here's why. This isn't really the type of game that I would typically play. I like action games, I like violence, I like blood, I like gore, I like explosions, I like just fast paced, blowing stuff up and shooting people in the face, and gore and violence and blood and violence and gore and blood. And Undertale isn't really that. I mean, there is fighting in the game and there's talk of death and dying, but it's not a violent game in the traditional sense of the word. The fact that this isn't the type of game that typically appeals to me, but then knowing that it's quite a short game made me kind of think, you know what, maybe I could give this one a go. Furthermore, when it comes to RPGs, now I've played a few in the past like Final Fantasy X, which I really enjoyed, but typically I avoid them because they are really long. And one of my early experiences with RPGs was Final Fantasy VII, where I got all the way to the second disc and then I had a corrupted file, and that's after some 30 something hours of gameplay, and you get a corrupted file. Kind of put me off the whole thing. And then more recently I was playing the first Witcher game. I got some 60 hours into the game and then a corrupted file. So yeah, I don't like the idea of investing all that time and energy into a game and then you get a corrupted file. And yeah, I know that's not every single RPG game, but still, when it happens a few times, it's kind of like, you know? But knowing that Undertale is a short game, it takes about 5 to 6 hours to get through, made it that much easier to want to try it out. Also, what I like about Undertale is that it gets you thinking about your decisions that you make. Now, I know lots of games out there give you choices of whether you can do good things or bad things and so on, and that can affect the outcome of the game. And what Undertale does, which I think is unique, at least unique in my experience anyway, is that you can either spare enemies or you can fight them to the death, but for the most part, it doesn't say how your choices affect the game. But then later on, when you start talking to people, it mentions things like how you've killed a bunch of people and how your XP and your level represent the type of violent person that you are. And also when you're fighting some of the bosses, it gives you some of their backstory, how they're just trying to free their people or just trying to bring some kind of balance to their land. And it really has you thinking about things like, you know, who are the real monsters here, or who are the bad guys? Are these the bad guys, or they're just people just happen to be on the opposite side of you? So when it's 5 to 6 hour gameplay, it gives you quite a few deep concepts to think about, and that is pretty cool. Now, what I didn't like about Undertale was the keyboard controls. Now, you can use a control pad, which is much better, but if you're using a keyboard, it kind of sucks because it's not WASD, it's actually the cursor. Now, to be fair, on my keyboard, it's kind of small and the cursor keys are just tiny. If you have a larger keyboard, it might be a little bit more comfortable, but no WASD option. It's like, dude, come on. But to be fair, the game is developed by one person, so all things considered, the controls do actually work. It's just, would it be more comfortable with the WASD option? At least more comfortable for me anyway. All it all comes down to is it worth it? Is Undertale worth the money? Currently on Steam, it is $10 in the US and £7 in the UK. Is it worth it? If you go to work and you pull up with bullshit from your boss and then you finally get your payday and you spend £7 or $10 of that on Undertale, is it worth it? If you are babysitting for your neighbor and they give you some money and then you finally get enough money to buy this game and you spend it on Undertale, is it worth it? If you are getting pocket money from your parents and they give you a little bit of money each week or each month and you finally get enough money to buy Undertale, is it worth it? Well, in my opinion, absolutely. Now, I don't think it's beginning to end masterpiece worth it, but when you take the experience as a whole, it's a pretty cool thing what they've done. I mean, the fight mechanics are pretty cool. I like how you have to move around to try and avoid some of the attacks, but then some of the attacks are just like crazy, and you're like, oh, you're just taking a piss right now. You're seriously just taking a piss. The overall story is okay, but I think what really stood out was how the story was told, in particular how it makes you feel bad about killing people after you've killed them. That was a nice touch. And just how it does some interesting things with the graphic style and how it plays with that along the way, and we finally get to the final boss, and it is 110% piss take. And there's things throughout the game where you're like, yeah, you're taking a piss right now, you are taking a piss. You get to the final boss and you are definitely taking a piss, but it was all done really well, and when you get through it, it's pretty satisfying. Shout out to Cloth1234 for hooking me up with the game. You, sir, are the true hero of the underground, and that is what I think of Undertale. What do you think? Go hard or go home? Let me know down below, and if you liked this video, give it a like and share it amongst your friends. If you did not like it, then give it a dislike and share it amongst your enemies. Either way, let me know your reasons in the comments. Subscribe if you have not already. Thank you for watching, and until whenever, if ever, you can't spell prepared without several letters from my name. At their town, new places, interesting areas, dead bodies, you know, just generally going out and having fun with it. I would actually like to try out Pokemon Go myself, but it's currently not available on the UK Android phone.